What's up, guys? Your favorite player one, Richard here, out doing another bourbon hunt video, this time at Kirby Wine and Spirits located in Memphis. Now technically this is the outskirts of Memphis, but Memphis just the same. Today we are going to be looking for Pursuit United. Now I tried their double oak a few weeks ago and it is absolutely stellar. Same thing with their standard offerings, but I'm going to see if I can find maybe something a little bit more exclusive or limited. Now rather than standing out here in the parking lot freezing, let's go inside and do some hunting. Now right when you walk in the store, usually you are going to be met with their Buffalo Trace or allocated items here. As you can see here in the Memphis area, there is no shortage of Buffalo Trace products, and the prices aren't too bad either. This is about what you will see in most areas or most stores. $82 for that Blanton's. Buffalo Trace for $25. And let's see if we can find a price tag on $59.99. Actually, one of the better prices on that E.H. Taylor. Now, going back just a little bit, one of the things that I really want to point out is this Russell's Reserve. It's currently on sale, $68. One of the better bottles that I have tried, and Kirby Wine and Spirits is really good with their picks. I've actually had a pour of this particular bottle. Absolutely stellar, and you can't beat that $68.99 price tag. Now, they also have their other store picks. They do things like tequila and stuff like that. Here is their Bardstown store pick. $73.99 on sale. Not bad for a store pick. Now the shelves are a little bit closer than some of the other stores that we tend to visit, so we're gonna try doing this without the gimbal. So it might be a little rocky, but that's all right. So still seeing lots of that Master Keep here in the area. Most stores have it for about $300. Now I did a little perusing beforehand. Oh, before we do that, check out this Ducks Unlimited decanter. $150, not a bad price. Now we may skip some of these things, like your standard offerings of Bullet, the very large selection of Woodford Reserve. If I see something worth pointing out, I'll try to stop and give you a little bit more detail. One of the new and up-and-coming bourbons that we are seeing in our area is this Duck Club. Now I've tried this one. These are sourced whiskeys. They are working with a country singer named Riley Green. Not too bad for it being a blended source whiskey. $29.99 for this 92 proof. The 110 proof is $40. So that's a pretty good price on that one. Now moving right along, one of the other things, oh boy, I see something I may want, but that price tag is quite a lot. I love a good cigar batch whiskey. That is from Rye Whiskey, $117.99. I was actually looking at the Stranahan's. I would really like to see a more American single malt made available in our area. With it being a relatively new category of whiskey, you don't really see it too much here in our area, but I would really love to perhaps see some more of that. Cruising right along, moving on the bottom shelf. So we do have some Jeffersons here. I believe there was a rum cask that came out recently that was supposed to be pretty good. Don't see that available here, but this one is intriguing. The Marion McLean blend of straight whiskeys coming in at 102 proof, batch number 1. You have 14-year, 11-year, a wheated double barrel, rum cask, and 8-year-old. That definitely sounds intriguing. One of the earliest documented women in American whiskey arrested for moonshining and bootlegging in 1799. Now, it does come with a $300 price tag. Be interested to know a little bit more about that. Going backwards, I did spot this Peerless. I am starting to see that more in our area. I actually went to a store a couple of days ago, and they had at least 5 different offerings from Peerless. So definitely seeing more of that in this area. They do have a good selection of Penelope. Again, if you're looking for that F Cancer, they have it here for $105.99. Now, one thing I did see when I was looking in here earlier, I've not seen this before, the Sweet Oak Bourbon from Woodford. 110.4 proof, $200. I don't know. I like Woodford, but I don't know that it's worth that price tag of $200. There's that Baker 7 that we saw last week at Corks. Gross. Now, I did speak with the manager earlier. He does have some of that 1924. I'll get with him in a moment to see what the price is on that particular bottle. Trying to go a little bit slow. I know you all had said in the comments, go slower so that way we can see what everything is. Wyoming whiskey. I need to get a bottle of this to give it a try. I love trying things just from different areas. I'm really intrigued by this one. This there double cask. Sherry cask finished, $63.99. I don't really know much about them, so I don't know if that's a reasonable price or not, but definitely something I'm worth looking at trying. Moving around this bottom row, Old Granddad. I am sad to say that I have never tried any of Old Granddad before. Their bonded 100 proof is $25.99. Right next door is a High and Wicked. I've heard of it before, never tried it. If you have, let me know. Is this something I definitely need to be taking a look at? So we're going to peruse up because I see a whole mess load of Elijah Craig. Now they do have private barrels. Let's start over here. Yeah. So 60.4, so 120.8 proof, 9-year-old, $72.99. Right next to it, another barrel proof, 10-year, 7-month, 118.2. And this is batch A125. So I believe that's last year's. And then, of course, you have all of that standard offering there. We're going to go up. So back up to the top. Here's more Calumet. So you get a can here, $99.99. They're bottled in bond, limited release. So $142 for the 15-year, $49.99 for the 8, $79.99 for that 10-year. Again, really not sure if I can justify paying that with those lower proof points, but they are an older whiskey, so probably maybe the flavor is worth that cost. And I do see one over here that I want to feature, not Basil Hayden. They do carry Frank August. I believe this is a company that was on Fred Minnick's top 100 from last year. But a new one that I'm starting to see is Dancing Panda. Spoke with somebody the other day. They said, don't sleep on this. I believe the people that make Jefferson's is where they source their whiskey from. So might be something that I will have to check out in the future. More Whistle Pig. I have a funny Whistle Pig story. I've been burnt by them once before. I don't know that I'm necessarily going to try them again. I'll have to share that story with you later on. So, makers. Now, one thing I want to talk about is that Kirby Wine and Spirits did a maker's pick. They teamed up with End Alzheimer's a little while ago, and they had a honey pick. let me tell you, that was the talk of the town. A phenomenal pick, unlike anything that many people had had before. I had friends in Discord, family members talking about how they went back and got 2 and 3 bottles. There were people from out of state wanting to see if they could have one sent to them. It was very much the talk of the town. So they do great store picks here, especially with that makers. And I mean, it's going to help save or raise funds and awareness for ending Alzheimer's. Again, I apologize if it's a little shaky. I don't have my gimbal with me today. Now, one thing I am interested in trying are these Midwest Spirit special casks. I've heard a lot of good things about that ported pumpernickel rye. Something that I'm definitely interested in trying. I think Brandon over at Whiskey Weather said this is one of his top ones from a few years ago. More Wild Turkey and Russell's. Remember that store pick is definitely one to try. Four Roses, these single barrels are great. My favorite is OESO. Leans a little bit more on the sweeter side. These are $42.99. Not really seeing a lot of them in the area. So if you're looking for one, Kirby Wine and Liquor has you covered. High West. 15 stars. I don't see that in very many stores, but I've heard Bruce will talk about how they are pretty good. Triple cask, cognac, port, and rum. That sounds good. $177.99, $146.99 for that private stock barrel. Now, another thing that's caught my eye are these Heaven Hill grain to glass. I believe these are the original ones that you will see in most stores, $99.99, but these are limited edition, released in 2025. This one, the red label is 105 proof, green label 107 proof, blue label 105. All of them are sitting at $130.99. If you're looking for them, Kirby's got you covered. Another place that has store picks from Augusta. Starting to see that a little bit more. This is awesome. Alex Castle was the former master distiller here at Old Dominick. Moved on to Augusta. I believe that's where she was from, was Kentucky. So she was happy to go back home. We were sad to see her leave, but happy for her getting to go back home and continue to do great things over at Augusta. She does come in town, does tastings and stuff like that from time to time. But again, we're sad to see that she has left. We're going to go back up in a second because I see something else that has caught my eye. But back here on the bottom shelf, don't know that it belongs on the bottom shelf, but you know what? I'm not the manager. But we got Old Glory from Clarksville, Tennessee, doing great things, up and coming, $59.99. And then another American single malt, that is Balcones Pod Distiller 106 proof. That's actually a really cool, different, intriguing bottle. First West, seeing a lot of them. I haven't done a lot of research on them, but I think people have had positive reviews on that particular company. We have $50.99 for their small batch, Toasted Oak $60.99, and then their extra age, which is 8-year, $69.99. Now, the thing that caught my eye up top, Blue Note. Got to rep Blue Note. You're looking for that honey cask rye. Don't miss out on that one. $61.99. They have it here. You'll definitely be able to find it in lots of places, but definitely get you some Blue Note. If you've never had it before, that's uncut, unfiltered. This is my go-to typically. And again, you can't go wrong with that honey cask. Now, the thing that caught my eye up on the top shelf, That last video we talked about, we saw a rye that was in a can, or supposed to be in a can. This is the same thing, but they're bourbon. I'm not going to take it out of the can, but $79.99. I believe these are just once a year releases as well. We're going to go a little bit faster because we're almost towards the end. New Riff, Old Dominick, that cast strength. Definitely one, if you have a chance to try Old Dominick, that's one of my favorites. One thing that I can't believe I did not pay attention to up until recently was that their standard offering, which is $29.99, is 90.1 proof. If you're familiar with Memphis, our area code for our phone number is 901. So 901, 90.1 proof. Really genius marketing there. Ooh. Wood Creek Distillers. This, I am a sucker for an intriguing label. Just that bold gold color caught my eye. $42.99 each of those. If you've had them, let me know. Is this something that I should definitely be checking out? They have a Sazerac Store Pick 2, $32.99. Nelson Brothers, again, really cool story out of Nashville. Sherry Cask, $89.99. Their Reserve Bourbon, $59.99, and then their standard offering, $36.99. Now I do spot something over here. We're gonna kind of skip over the Jack Daniels. If you remember my first hunt video, I was looking for that cognac finish, Uncle Nearest. They have one here. 160. I don't know that that's necessarily something I can afford to get at this time. I was expecting something to be closer to these 150, 160 mark, but not 160. So, all right, moving right along. We're almost to the end. There's a bunch of flavored stuff. We have this Leopold Brothers 3-chamber pot still collaboration with George Dickel for $109.99, and then a very big selection of Bardstown. They do have that Goose Island that I referenced in my last video, and then we have some other finishes as well. All right, as promised, I did speak with the manager, and they do have several bottles of Old Forester 1924. And it's going to be at $120. So if you're looking for Old Forester 1924, Kirby Wine and Liquor has got you covered. All right, guys. So we went in looking for Pursuit United. Unfortunately, they don't carry them yet. But I didn't walk away empty-handed. As I've told you before, I do try to thank the store for letting me film by purchasing something. So I walked away with Old Granddad Bonded. So I've never had Old Granddad before. I've heard lots of good things, especially with this being considered a bottom shelf bourbon. So can't wait to get into this. I appreciate you watching, especially with these longer videos. Is there any stores that you all know of in Memphis that you'd love for me to try to hunt? Is there anything that you saw on the shelves that perhaps I should go back and try to get? Thank you for watching. As always, I'm your favorite player one, Richard. Have a good one.